My first baby didn't sleep through the night until she was 14 months old. I was so exhausted I couldn't function. I finally tried sleep training at 12 months, and within 3 nights, she was sleeping 11 hours straight. Today, I'm explaining the most common sleep training methods, when to start, and how to do it without feeling like a terrible parent. Because sleep deprivation is torture, and you deserve rest. Hey everyone, I'm Diana, and welcome back to Sweet Pregnant. I'm a doctor specializing in women's health, and I'm a mom of 3. And here's what I need to say up front. Sleep training is one of the most controversial parenting topics out there. Some people swear by it. Others think it's cruel and damaging. The truth? Sleep training is a tool. It works for some families and not for others. And doing it doesn't make you a bad parent. And not doing it doesn't make you a bad parent either. But if you're drowning in exhaustion, waking up every 2 hours, and barely surviving, sleep training might be the answer. So today, I'm breaking down the science, the methods, and how to decide what's right for your family. Let's start with the basics. Sleep training is teaching your baby to fall asleep independently and soothe themselves back to sleep when they wake during the night. It doesn't mean your baby will never wake up. Babies and adults cycle through light and deep sleep all night long, but it means when your baby wakes between sleep cycles, they can put themselves back to sleep without needing you. Why do babies need help learning to sleep? Many babies develop sleep associations. They associate falling asleep with being rocked, nursed, held, or having a pacifier. When they wake up in the middle of the night and that association is gone, you're not there, the pacifier fell out. They're in the crib instead of your arms. They can't fall back asleep without it. So they cry until you come back and recreate that association. Sleep training breaks that association. You teach your baby that the crib is where they sleep and they can fall asleep there on their own. When can you start sleep training? Most experts recommend waiting until at least 4 to 6 months. Before 4 months, babies are too young, their sleep patterns aren't developed enough, and they still need frequent night feedings. By 4 to 6 months, many babies are physiologically capable of sleeping longer stretches, 6 to 8 hours, without eating. Some parents wait longer, 6 months, 9 months, even a year. There's no magic deadline. The right time is when you're ready and when your baby is developmentally capable. What sleep training is not. It's not letting your baby cry all night with no response. It's not ignoring your baby's needs. It's not traumatic or damaging when done appropriately. Research shows that sleep training does not harm attachment or emotional development. Cry it out also. Called EXTINCTION is the most well-known and most controversial method. How it works. You put your baby in the crib awake, say goodnight, leave the room, and don't go back. In until morning or the next scheduled feeding if your baby still needs night feeds. Your baby will cry, sometimes for a long time the first few nights. But most babies stop crying and fall asleep within 15 to 60 minutes. By night 3 or 4, most babies cry for just a few minutes before falling asleep. Within a week, many babies go down without crying at all. Why it works? It's fast and effective. Babies learn quickly that crying doesn't bring you back, so they stop crying and learn to self-soothe. Why it's controversial? Listening to your baby cry for 30 or 40 minutes feels awful. It goes against every parental instinct. Critics worry it's harmful or traumatic, what the research says. Multiple studies have found that cry it out does not cause long-term psychological harm or damage attachment. Babies whose parents use cry it out are just as securely attached and emotionally healthy as babies whose parents don't. My experience. I used cry it out with my first baby at 12 months. She cried for 45 minutes the first night. I sat outside her door sobbing. The second night, she cried for 20 minutes. The third night, 5 minutes. By night 4, she babbled for a few minutes and went to sleep. It changed our lives. She started sleeping 11 hours straight. I felt human again. This method isn't for everyone. If listening to your baby cry makes you feel horrible, don't do it. There are gentler methods. But if you can tolerate a few hard nights for long-term results, it works. The Ferber method is a gentler version of cry it out. It's also called graduated extinction or controlled crying. How it works. You put your baby in the crib awake, say goodnight, and leave. If your baby cries, you wait a set amount of time before going back in to check on them. The first check might be after 3 minutes. You go in, reassure your baby with your voice or a quick pat, but don't pick them up, then leave again. The next check is after 5 minutes, then 7 minutes, then 10 minutes. You gradually increase the intervals between checks. You repeat this process until your baby falls asleep. Each night, you increase the initial interval. Night 1 might start at 3 minutes. Night 2 starts at 5 minutes. Night 3 starts at 10 minutes. Why it works. Your baby learns to self-soothe, but you're periodically reassuring them that you're still there. It's less emotionally brutal for parents than cry it out because you're checking on your baby. How long does it take? Most babies sleep through the night within 3 to 7 days. My experience. I used Ferber with my second baby at 6 months. It felt better to me than cry it out because I could check on him. The first night he cried on and off for about an hour, but I went in every few minutes to reassure him. By night 3, he was asleep within 15 minutes. The challenge. Some babies get more upset when you come in and leave again. They think you're going to pick them up, and when you don't, they cry harder. If this happens, you might need to switch to full cry it out or try a different method. The chair method is even gentler. It's also called the Sleep Lady Shuffle. How it works. You put your baby in the crib awake and sit in a chair next to the crib. You can talk softly or pat your baby, but you don't pick them up. You stay there until your baby falls asleep. Each night, you move the chair farther away from the crib. Night 1, right next to the crib. Night 3, a few feet away. Night 5, by the door. Night 7, outside the door but still visible. Eventually, you're out of the room entirely. Why it works. Your baby learns to fall asleep without being held, but you're there for reassurance. The transition is gradual, so it's less jarring. How long does it take? Usually 1 to 3 weeks. It's slower than cry it out or Ferber, but it's gentler. The challenge. Some babies are more upset by your presence. They want you to pick them up, and when you don't, they cry harder. It also requires a lot of time and patience. You might be sitting in a chair for 30 to 60 minutes every night for weeks, when it works well. For parents who can't tolerate crying, for babies who are soothed by your presence, for families who prefer a slower, gentler approach. This is one of the gentlest methods, but it's also the most labor-intensive. How it works. You put your baby in the crib awake. If they cry, you pick them up and soothe them until they're calm. As soon as they're calm, you put them back down. If they cry again, you pick them up again. You repeat this over and over until they fall asleep in the crib. Why it works, your baby learns to fall asleep in the crib, but you're providing comfort and reassurance every time they need it. The challenge. This can take a long time. You might pick up and put down your baby dozens of times in one night. Some babies find it stimulating rather than soothing. Every time you pick them up, they wake up more. And for parents, it's exhausting. You're up and down constantly. When it works well, for very young babies, 4 to 6 months, who aren't ready for cry it out. For parents who absolutely cannot tolerate any crying. For babies who calm quickly when picked up. My experience. I tried this method with my third baby, and it didn't work for us. He got more worked up every time I picked him up because he thought we were going to play. We switched to Ferber and had much better results. Before you start any sleep training method, set up your baby's sleep environment for success. Darkness. Blackout curtains are your friend. The room should be dark enough that you can't see your hand in front of your face. Darkness signals to the brain that it's time to sleep. White noise. A white noise machine blocks out household sounds and mimics the womb. It should be loud enough to drown out a vacuum cleaner, about 50 to 60 decibels. Comfortable temperature. The room should be cool, around 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Overheating increases the risk of SIDS and makes sleep uncomfortable. Safe sleep space. Your baby should be in a crib or bassinet on a firm mattress with a fitted sheet. No blankets, pillows, stuffed animals, or bumpers. Safe sleep guidelines are non-negotiable. Consistent bedtime routine. Before sleep training, establish a calming bedtime routine. Bath, pajamas, book, song, good night. the same routine every night signals to your baby that sleep is coming. Keep it short and simple, 15 to 30 minutes total. Sleep training doesn't always go smoothly. Here are common issues and solutions. Your baby cries longer than expected. Some babies are more stubborn. If your baby cries for more than an hour, make sure they're not sick, hungry, or in pain. If everything's fine, stay consistent. It will get better. Your baby falls asleep but wakes up after 30 minutes. This is a partial wake between sleep cycles. Give them a few minutes to see if they settle themselves. If they don't, apply your chosen method again. Your baby gets sick or teething disrupts sleep. Pause sleep training if your baby is sick or in pain. Comfort them. Once they're better, resume. They'll usually get back on track quickly. You travel or have a disrupted schedule. Sleep training works best with consistency. If you can, avoid travel during the first week. If you must travel, try to maintain the routine as much as possible, then re-establish it when you're home. Your partner disagrees with sleep training. You both need to be on board. If one parent caves and picks up the baby, it undoes the progress and confuses the baby. Have a conversation beforehand and agree on the plan. You feel guilty. This is the hardest part. Listening to your baby cry feels horrible. Remind yourself, you're teaching them a valuable skill. Sleep is essential for their development and your well-being. You're not abandoning them. You're helping them learn. Research shows sleep training doesn't harm babies. Studies have found no negative effects on attachment, emotional development, or stress levels. Sleep-trained babies are just as happy and securely attached as babies who aren't sleep-trained. Sleep training isn't magic. It doesn't work for every baby. Reasons it might not work? Your baby is too young. Babies under 4 months aren't developmentally ready. Your baby has reflux or medical issues. If your baby is in pain, they can't sleep train. Address the medical issue first. Your baby is truly hungry. Some babies still need 1 or 2 night feeds even at 6 months. You can sleep train around feeds. Train them to fall asleep independently, but still feed them once or twice during the night. You're not consistent. Sleep training requires consistency. If you give in and pick them up some nights, it won't work. Your baby has a very sensitive temperament. Some babies are highly sensitive and don't respond well to any sleep training method. If you've tried multiple methods and nothing works, your baby might just need more time. You're not ready. If you're not mentally and emotionally prepared for sleep training, it won't work. It's okay to wait until you feel ready. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. Sleep training is a personal choice. Some families need it, others don't. There's no right or wrong answer. The most common methods are cry it out, extinction, fast, effective, but emotionally hard. Ferber, graduated extinction. Gentler, involves timed check-ins. Chair method, gradual retreat. Very gentle, but slower. Pick up, put down, gentlest, but most labor-intensive. Sleep training works best when your baby is at least 4 to 6 months old. You're consistent. Your baby is healthy. Your sleep environment is optimized. Research shows sleep training is safe. It doesn't harm attachment or emotional development when done appropriately, but it's not required. Some families co-sleep, nurse on demand, and never sleep train. That's valid too. Do what works for your family. For me, sleep training was life-changing. I was barely functioning on 2 hours of broken sleep. Sleep training gave me my life back. But I also know parents who chose not to sleep train and were perfectly happy with that decision. The goal is for everyone to get the sleep they need. However you achieve that is up to you. If this video helped you understand your options, hit that subscribe button. My next video is about bonding with your baby and what to do if you don't feel instant love. Drop a comment, did you sleep train? Which method worked for you? You're doing great. Sleep will come eventually, one way or another. I'll see you in the next one.